I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Everybody, happy Thanksgiving. It is Oops the Podcast. I'm Francis. He's
Giulio Gallerati.
And we are so thrilled to celebrate the Pilgrims and the feast and the bounty of Thanksgiving with you today. Whether you're driving along an interstate jammed with bumper-to-bumper traffic with a nice tinfoil covered mashed potato plate in the back seat, getting colder by the second, or if you're at an airport wondering if you'll make it in time for dinner, we salute you.
We do.
Yeah.
Dude, this one goes out to all the people who are complaining about going home for Thanksgiving and having to deal with their families not aligning with them politically. Shut the fuck up, dude. You're lucky you have a fucking family.
You are lucky. A lot of people don't have families.
Yeah, get out of here.
You know who doesn't have a family anymore? The natives. I don't think the natives have families anymore. And I'm not just talking about Native Americans. I'm talking about natives of anywhere. If you're native to where you are from, you probably don't know where your family is because you're living in the trees.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, natives of...
oh, you mean like indigenous tribes?
Yeah, old schoolers. People that don't like running water or, like Pokemon and stuff. They're not familiar with that.
People who are getting murdered by loggers.
They don't have magazine subscriptions because they're making fires with old techniques. Flint and Tinder, and I don't mean the app.
Yeah, dude, they're spending all their time dealing with the thousands of spirits they believe in.
Yeah, stupid. Oh, I got a cut on my leg. I better pray to it. That's getting gangrene. You need a hospital, moron.
Yeah, nice ceremonial totem pole, loser.
You need to flush that with an antibacterial wash and then go to CVS for some ointment.
We're terrible people, dude.
The term natives, I've always loved that term because it sounds offensive, but it's not. You know what the really offensive term is? Savages. Savages is the bad
Savages
one.
is bad. Nice hat, dude.
We talked... Thank you. Yeah, you got a good one.
Speaking of savages, dude.
Pilgrim.
Yeah, right?
You're a pilgrim.
Hell yeah, dude.
Pilgrims, man, what a cool time that must have been. That must have been exciting, Because they came over on a ship, and it was such a long journey. And whenever you get off a ship, you're always glad to be on land.
Right. Yeah,
right?
I'm sure.
Especially if you've been on sea for weeks and weeks and weeks, throwing up all the time.
That's the other thing that's sucks. It's like in a horror movie when they escape their captor and then they hitchhike and end up with a worse person. It's like you were going across the ocean, and the second you get there, you're getting shot by arrows.
They ran right into a pack of savages.
Yeah, dude.
They ran right into the natives.
That sucks.
There was some trade and some bounty, I believe that happened. Nobody really knows the true story of Thanksgiving and the Pilgrims because it's been so long.
And we were brainwashed in school too. Like I learned a bunch of bullshit about like them being friends and stuff.
Right. Yeah, I think that was all a false narrative meant to make the savages feel better. But I don't think that's how it actually went down.
We gave them the flu, right?
Here's an interesting story. The French word for turkey is dinde. D''inde.
Interesting.
Now, what that means in French is of India. And what that means is that when the Pilgrims first discovered turkeys in America, you'll recall that some of them originally thought that America was India.
Right. That was the original assumption.
Christopher Columbus. And so they said that, these birds are of India. And in France, they never changed their ways because they're a very stubborn people. So they called turkeys to this day of India.
Right.
Even though we know that they are of America.
Unconcerned with PC culture.
Yeah.
The French. Gotta love it. You're learning shit on Oops the Podcast, folks.
That's right. So here's a question, Giulio.
Let's hear it.
What do you think you would have done if you were a pilgrim and you had seen young Pocahontas
I would have
in
banged
the
her,
woods?
dude.
Would you have?
Yeah.
Oh,
She
sure.
was so hot, dude.
She was. Well, her hair was down to her thighs, bro. She needed a cut. I mean, you want to talk about split ends. There's no way that stuff. She's not using Pantene Pro V back then. She's probably washing her hair with fucking sap.
Pocahontas, dude.
Pocahontas.
Do you know what I would have done? I would have stayed in England, bro. Like, if you think about it, the settlers were like the first cult in a way.
Well, but they were escaping religious persecution.
Right. But all cults say they are doing that. They just
That's
happen to
true.
like last.
Yeah. So they decided to break away, and they took the Mayflower and the other ships across the sea to America, and they founded their own colony, right?
First one, wasn't it Jamestown?
Jamestown.
And then they did
And
the
then they
Massachusetts.
went north to the Massachusetts Bay Colony,
Right.
which I think was a Puritan society. Are you watching Handmaid's Tale?
I'm not.
Holy shit.
I heard
It
it's
is
good.
full of rape. I mean, it's one rape scene after another. I was not prepared. It's hard to go to bed after. I have to read a book
Really?
before to cleanse the rape palate.
Dude, my mom tried to describe the plot to me, and like halfway through, I was like, all right, let's stop.
It's a reversion to old world values, much like what they believed in Puritan society in Massachusetts, except taken to the highest extreme.
Interesting.
It's a militarized Puritan society.
in the future, right? Or no?
Not terribly far in the future.
In the near
Not
future?
so far. Yeah. It's hard to be serious with this hat on, I gotta tell you. I can see the little leggies. I feel like the turkey's trying to tell me to giddy up. Come on, let's go. Yeah.
Whenever you like try to say something serious, I just look at you and I'm
Yeah.
Gobble gobble, baby. I worry that everything I've said today is the sort of thing that will be dug up 20 years from now by a society of Native American chiefs who run a comedy show that I'm applying for. You know? I feel
Yeah.
like savages, natives, these are all buzzwords that won't age well.
Yeah, and it'll be easy to isolate them and make it look like you were being serious.
Yeah, but at the same time, who could say maybe I'm protected by the hat?
You can say anything in that hat.
Yeah, you kind of can.
Did you look like the kind of cool 5th grade teacher, Mr. Ellis?
Yeah, but that'd be
Did
like,
you see Mr. Ellis's
call
hat?
Call me Francis. You know, Mr. Ellis is my father. Dude, I'm telling you, man. I would think I would have been really good friends with a lot of the natives. I would have gone through the woods. I would have learned their ways. I've always been good at creating friendships with people that are not like me. Like when I play pickup basketball, people like me,
That's good.
but I'm not like them. You know,
Right.
racially,
Right.
we're different. So my point being, but we bond over things. Like I'll say, hey, those are cool Jordans, and then we'll talk about sneakers. You know, or hey, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player. Who's yours? And then we're off on that tangent.
I don't see that going well, dude. Hey, man, Kobe Bryant's my favorite player. Who's yours? Be like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised.
Get down in the paint.
Everybody has a favorite player, and everyone likes to talk about their favorite player. Okay, it's a
Who
tale
is
as
your
old as
favorite
time.
player?
My favorite NBA player
Mm-hmm.
of all time, Allen Iverson.
It's a good one.
I was a big Allen Iverson fan.
The answer?
Yeah.
Jinx.
Everything he did made me want to wear baggier pants.
Right.
I would show up to school. I wore Echo jeans in 7th grade, dude. Echo jeans. I mean, they barely. I would cinch my belts tighter than I do when I jerk off, and these things barely clung to my hips. I'm telling you. I was
Just the baggy ones? The big
they
baggy
were
ones?
they were like bell bottoms from the waist down.
I had a pair of similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought an Anichi shirt.
Nice.
And then someone was like, it's NYC. And I was like, oh, I get that now.
Oh, I called it an Ichi too.
Yeah.
Is it not an Ichi?
I'm not sure. Fat Farm, Pele Pele,
Right. R.I.P. to all those brands.
Sean John, Rockaware. I loved all those.
I just found out that P. Diddy owns Aqua Hydrate. Did you know that?
I wouldn't even know what that
water?
is.
It's like pH balanced water. It's good stuff. Actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all those guys
Fun
had
fact.
beverage companies. I mean, I know that the bulk of P. Diddy's wealth comes from his vodka company, Ciroc.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm amazed Ciroc has done so well.
Yes.
Sort of a fringe brand.
If you get alcohol right, it seems that that's the most lucrative thing. I mean, I know that Justin Timberlake has a tequila company. Obviously, George Clooney made tons of
Casamigos.
money. Did you hear that story about how when they sold Casamigos for over $1 billion, he delivered a duffel bag with $1 million of cash to 8 or 9 of his closest high school friends, all of whom had let him stay on their couches while he was auditioning for small TV parts and trying to make it as an actor in his early
No
years.
way.
And it was a thank you gift, $1 million cash.
I always knew he was the fucking man, dude.
Pretty cool guy.
He's also like the pickup basketball guy. He plays with Obama and shit.
Well, there you go. I bet you he tells Obama, "Hey, Obama, my favorite player is Rick Perry." Rick Barry, underhand, and then not Rick Perry, the governor of Texas. But yeah, I bet you he has finds a way to cross-cut cleavage friendship with people.
Well, do you like Thanksgiving food?
I do. I really do. You know, what is this bullshit? Every year, every single year, we hear a story about, I'm tired of Thanksgiving food. I don't even like it that much. I don't like cranberry sauce. I don't like the stuffing, whatever it may be. And I think that's because those people are poor. You know what I mean? Like, my mom cooks the most incredible Thanksgiving meal with a nice heritage free-range turkey that has lived a good, happy life, exploring the backyard, eating little wormies and, you know, termites. I don't know. And then with a shredded Brussels sprout dish and sweet potatoes that don't have marshmallows on them. Don't put marshmallows on your sweet potatoes.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yams. Just eat them with something somewhat healthy. The Thanksgiving meal can be very healthy.
That's true. You're right.
And I think people put butter or they deep fry a turkey or they do this and that. And that's when you're going to say, yeah, this is gross.
Yeah.
Try for a more healthy, simpler, organic Thanksgiving meal. What's your Thanksgiving family situation like?
We eat Thanksgiving food, and it's pretty good. You know, whatever. There's always one person who's like, "Oh, you're gonna get tired from the turkey,"
Yeah.
and then they're like tryptophan. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they
"Right,
always
dude."
throw that
Like,
word out there.
fuck
They
outta
remind
here.
you what it is.
Yeah.
Show offs.
I'll tell you this though. I haven't eaten meat for like a week. Just
What
because
happened?
I don't know. I was just like giving it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, I've just been waking up with just fat erections, dude. And they say that happens. They say that happens.
Oh, whoa! That's great,
Yeah,
dude.
it's felt great. I
Because
felt like
you're
a
not
man,
eating
dude.
meat, your libido has increased.
I don't necessarily think my libido has increased. Like I don't feel more of a desire for just any sort of sexual activity. But I have just woken up with fatter, harder erections.
Yeah, the old fatties.
The old fatties.
Let me ask you this: Do you get the boner? Do you get the morning boners because you have to pee? Because that's why I would get them.
Do you think that's actually why you're getting them? I think
Yeah,
I think men just wake up with them.
No, I'm not waking up with a boner because I dreamt of something sexual.
No, I know. There's no sexual
It's
correlation.
because I had too much water before bed, and I wake up, and I'm not somebody who pees the bed ever. I've never done that. I've never been one of those guys. So my penis just fills up with pee. It's much like a fire hose where you've turned on the pressure, but you haven't opened the spigot at the end. So it gets straight and hard and full of pressure. And then once you open it up, you can put the house out.
This sounds like quack science to me, dude. I don't know if it's because you're wearing that hat. You're talking about anatomy wearing the fucking stupid hat.
That's what happens, man. You got to pee, your boner stops it from happening.
All right. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I go down to Florida.
Really?
Yeah. my family has a house on an island called Boca Grande
Where's that?
on the west coast, about an hour and a half south of Tampa,
Is it near Naples?
an hour and a half north of Naples. 1 hour, 15 minutes south of Sarasota,
Okay, cool. So it's the nice area.
an hour and 20 minutes north of Fort Myers.
Okay, great. So you're right in there. You're right in the thick of it.
Dude, I went to Naples once. Naples was the place where I first got drunk in my life.
Really?
Yeah, I went with my friend Chris. He was 2 years older, and I had a fake ID. I was from Maine. I was 16 years old. And we went down there. His family had a house down there, and we went out to a bar with our fake IDs. And we drank tequila shots.
You got wasted?
Got pretty fucked up. Ended up making out with a school teacher named Michelle. I think she had a child,
Nice.
but he wasn't there.
How old were you?
I was 16. I think she was 34. 5.
Wow.
Big deal.
That must have been awesome.
I remember thinking, am I going to get, herpes from this old lady? That's what I thought.
You were putting yourself at risk.
Her
For
mouth
sure.
has been so many more places than mine had.
That's exciting though.
So we go down. My mom is an absolute legend in the kitchen when it comes to Thanksgiving meals. She'll cook 6 or 7 different types of pie.
And she does the cooking once you guys get there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, but she cooks for 2 or 3 days.
Oh, wow.
And then she always says, why am I doing this? How come nobody's helping me? And we say, Mom, we're willing and able. You just have to put us to work. And then on the last
She's
day,
a
we all kind
delegate.
of collaborate together.
Similar narrative with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, what's the biggest fight that you've ever gotten into with your family on Thanksgiving?
Oh, wow. Nothing comes to mind in particular.
I had a bad one.
What happened?
It was probably 5 or 6 years ago. Something about when I'm with my family, I become very edgy.
I don't think that's unusual.
Yeah, I just get a little testy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because it's abundantly clear to me when I'm with them how far I have to go before I'm going to make anyone happy.
I feel like you're from a nurturing environment, dude.
I sure am. I just don't believe in myself.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But here's what happened. We had friends over for Thanksgiving dinner that year, friends of my parents, and I was already annoyed by that. I wanted it to, I had this idea of Thanksgiving is for family,
Comfort.
immediate family. No outsiders welcome. Like we were in a treehouse or something. So we had these 3 or 4 older people come over. And older people can be tough because they're just they think they have much more wisdom than you.
Right. They talk at you sometimes.
Yeah, they talk at you. So we're sitting there and some controversial topic came up, which was we were talking about, I think, maternity leave.
Mm.
And this was during the Obama era, so people were a little happier.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, do you guys mind if I have a thought, and I don't know if it's a little bit controversial or not. That was how I prefaced my statement.
Fair.
And my sister went, "Oh boy, buckle up, folks." And I went, "You know what? Shut up." And my mom got so mad that I said shut up to my sister at the Thanksgiving table with the old people around. I mean, we barely recovered. I got an earful, and I'm not talking of corn. I got an earful after that meal. You can't speak to your sister that way when company is present,
Fair enough, dude.
And I guess I did regret it, but I also, the point I was going to make about maternity leave wasn't that controversial. I think I ended up saying something like, well, if you're running a business and a woman leaves for 6 months and she's been progressing up and is a valuable member of your company, it's hard to just lose someone like that for 6 months. You rely on that person to be a solid member of your team, but I guess that's the whole point of maternity law protections, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Fair enough.
I guess we'll keep them in place.
Yeah, dude.
That was the biggest fight we had at Thanksgiving. That was the bad one. My sister was shell shocked. And then I remember she did this thing where, as my mom was yelling at me in front of everyone, my sister said something like, "I mean, what do you expect? He's always been this way." Oh man, you know, like or being like, come on, it's okay. You guys know him. You know how he is.
I hate that.
As if just like we're all on the same side together and he's this black sheep. And I was like, I'm not the black sheep. I'm a regular sheep.
That's annoying though, getting categorized in a negative way.
Exactly.
Where you're like, I'm not like that.
Yeah.
But then you don't know. Maybe you're wrong.
One slip of the tongue and you're ostracized for the rest of the meal.
Well, dude, I'm jealous that you're going down to Florida. Like the last time I was in that area of Florida, in like the Naples area, it was for a tennis trip. We were playing a Division II school, and there's no rules in Division II. So like, I got whooped by this 27-year-old Ecuadorian guy who was wearing a visor, dude. He whooped my fucking ass. It was a man. He was a man, dude.
He's the coach.
Dude, it was 6'1".
What school was it?
Florida Gulf Coast.
Oh, I knew you.
This is before they were Division I. This is like when they were brand new.
Dude, that school. Remember that NCAA basketball run they had, where they were just dunking on every play?
No.
They were the darlings of the tournament.
They were like a 13 seed or something?
Yeah, 15. I don't even 14 or 15, and they won a couple games. It was crazy.
Wow. I don't remember that.
So yeah, that's an interesting area of Florida. It sure is.
Yeah, I go to Connecticut. We've done it at my house every year that we've lived in that part of the world since I was, 5 or 6 years old. And it's fun, man. And this year I'm going to be traveling a lot that week. I'm going to go for the day, and that's going to be stressful. But I'm glad. I'm trying to keep the streak alive.
Yeah, you got to do Thanksgiving with your family. Do you think Thanksgiving or Christmas is a more important holiday with the family?
I think that Christmas very slightly for me. I think in general that's probably true.
Yeah, because you don't get gifts at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's less like build up towards Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's a lot of build up towards Christmas.
Thanksgiving just sort of pops up out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is the good time of the year, dude.
This is a great time of year. I'm
nice.
feeling great.
After, mid-January, it goes downhill pretty
Oh,
hard.
buddy. Yeah, you get home from that. You get home from that
at least in the Northeast.
New Year's Eve week, and it's really dark. January is the longest month of the year by far.
Sucks.
February also sucks. But
bad for comedy too.
Shorter, is it?
Yeah, comedy always slows down during those months.
It's funny because that week right after Christmas,
York.
before New Year's Eve, is the most busy comedy week of the entire year.
Right, I know. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Dude, I have this great home video from Thanksgiving, 1993. It's very famous in our family. But it's funny, dude. Like the video starts off with me coming up the stairs. I'm wearing Hulk Hogan pajamas. And I'm like, my brother comes up the stairs sobbing. And my parents are like, what happened? I was like, I smacked his tush. And they're like, why, Giulio? Why'd you smack his tush? And like he hit me first or something. I don't know. But throughout this video, all this hilarious shit happens. Like there's one part where they can't find my brother. My brother's 3 years old in this video. And my dad's like, where Alessio? My brother's name Alessio, obviously. They're looking for Alessio. They're like, oh, there he is by the stump. Let's see what he's doing. And my dad zooms in, and my brother has a hatchet, and he's chopping down a stump with an axe. And my dad's like, Alessio, drop it. My dad's commentary is hilarious. He's like, oh, great. He's like, our 3-year-old son has a hatchet in his hand. We're going to win an award. Best parents in the neighborhood. Drop it. So we'll watch that. That's part of the Thanksgiving tradition.
That's fun.
Yeah, dude. It's a good time.
And then do you guys watch football? Do you what time do you guys have your Thanksgiving dinner?
Early, usually, like 3 or 4 o'clock.
That's the right time to do it.
Agreed.
Because then you can veg afterwards.
Mm-hmm. There's usually a couple people who watch football.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle, Tony, who is the uncle who shows up and he says the same shit every year. Oh, Tony, how was the drive? Oh, bumper to bumper on 5 and 15 every fucking year, dude. And then he'll be like, oh, the game's on. He goes down and watches the game. My cousin Mark will be there. He'll be busting my balls about something. And but it's usually a good time,
I agree. I love Thanksgiving. I'm going for 7 days or something.
To Florida?
To Florida.
Nice.
Because I have the time. Yep. I have the time off.
Is your girl coming?
She's going to go to her family's apartment in Miami.
Oh, wow.
For
you guys, huh?
Wednesday to Friday.
Nice.
And then my sister, her fiance, his family is from Miami. So my sister and her fiance are going to be with us on the West Coast from Wednesday to Friday. And then those two are going to drive a rental car over to Miami. And my girlfriend is going to drive it right back.
Oh, cool.
And they're going to swap coasts.
Oh, that's cool, dude.
And she'll be with us from Friday to Sunday or Monday or something.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
And it's also good. Florida's nice for you because you don't have to get sucked into any of that like uncomfortable hanging out with everybody you grew up with time.
Yeah.
They can just get testy. I mean, I love the people I grew up with. They're cool. But like when everybody kind of comes together at the bar, there's always some weird narrative that unfolds that like nobody needed to get involved with.
Dude, think about this. When we were in college, right? You remember our first year of college? We all came home from college, everybody that you'd known in high school. And everybody went to the bars the night before Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And everybody was wearing their college sweatshirt, some kind of paraphernalia from where they went to school, all proud of the fact that they'd gotten a 2.7 GPA, but they were pledging and everything was going well, right?
Pledging and getting raped by the seniors.
The next year, half those kids had failed out of their college and were now going to the University of Maine or the USM, or
interesting.
they couldn't handle it, the distance.
Yeah,
And then
that's true for us too.
I would say the year after that, half the girls were pregnant.
Really?
And then the year after that, pretty much everyone was in methadone clinics.
What?
My high school senior class fell apart so dramatically and so quickly.
That's a rapid decline.
Yeah, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they were dicks to me in high school. So I was wishing for them to fall apart like it, you know.
You were like, when you were studying, you're like, one day these kids are going to be mowing my grass.
Yeah, they'll be pumping my gas. That's right. I stayed in school. My GPA got better and better every year. And these kids, their hopes and their dreams fell by the wayside as their freshman 15 turned into a sophomore 30, turned into a junior year needle habit.
I was a big boy after.
Did you put on a lot of weight?
Yeah, dude. So
Dude, how?
Okay, this is what happened. I got to school. I was playing tennis. When I went into college, I was like 180, which was kind of like my good fighting weight for me as a tennis player. Maybe 175, but I was like 180. And very quickly, our coach got fired.
Oh.
And I had a girlfriend who lived in Connecticut. And for 3 months, I didn't do shit. And I gained, I'm not kidding, 35 pounds.
What do you mean? Your coach got fired, so you guys
didn't practice.
You didn't have like off season. This was in the fall before season started.
So we have a fall season, but it like wasn't too long, and our coach wasn't too heavily involved or whatever. And then there was just a period where I just was eating fried pizza bites at midnight. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? I hadn't adjusted. I was overfed in high school too. Like my parents would give me multiple sandwiches in the morning.
Yeah, because you're growing so fast.
Italians, you know.
Yeah.
So
sandwiches in the morning,
dude, and they would also make me multiple breakfast sandwiches for breakfast. Like it was like this thing. They were terrified that I wasn't going to be fed enough.
Right.
When in reality, I needed 20% of the food they were giving me. But dude, so I was like 215, 218.
Wow.
And then I got down to 200 by my senior year, and that's
good.
It was still too heavy, and I played pretty well. But it's one of my regrets in life not being fit to really compete at my highest level.
Do you mind if I ask how much you weigh now?
Right now, I'm probably like 190, and I'm a big fluctuator. Like I've been as low as like 165.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was in LA, I was just really depressed. I was just exercising all day because my agent's like, you have to be out here. And then I did nothing for 2.5 months. So I was just biking everywhere. I took a PA job where I biked back and forth 15 miles. Is that crazy?
15 miles?
Each way.
What the fuck?
I know, dude. And I lied and told them I had a car because I knew I would get fired. So they're like, go get some water. It would take me like 45 minutes. Like, what does it take you so long? And then they finally figured it out.
Oh my God, dude.
Crazy, right?
That's dramatic. Yo, I had a crazy thing happen though this weekend.
What happened?
After the workout, I went to meet my friend Alex and his girlfriend for sushi at Sugarfish.
Oh, the best.
So good.
Which one?
We went to the Soho one, and the
nice.
service was horrific.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't even know we were there.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's unusual.
It's probably like how the Pilgrims felt about the natives. 'Cause they're always blending in with the trees and stuff. But needless to say, the sushi was fantastic. But before I got there, I took the C train from 23rd Street and 8th Avenue down into Soho. And when I walked down into the subway platform, I saw a guy sitting on the yellow line, the caution line, dangling his feet into the tracks.
Jesus.
Yelling, "Don't come any closer. Don't come any closer. I'm going to do it. I've had enough." Threatening to kill himself.
Did he seem like a normal guy or no?
No, not really. He was wearing those fingerless gloves, but
Ah.
you could tell that the fingers had come off naturally. He didn't buy them that way. And that's a bad sign. You know?
Yeah.
If the fingers of your gloves have come off and you don't replace them, you're poor. So he was down there and people were kind of like, "Oh my God, what do we do?" But then a lot of people took their phones out to start filming. And at first I was like, shame on them. But then I was like, well, you know, I know a good Instagram opportunity when I see one. I'm going to save this guy's life. It'll get on the evening news. That will turn the public tide of opinion about me. And all the front page Francis Ellis Google hits will go from being Francis Ellis makes fun of dead girl to heroic Harvard graduate saves homeless man with fingerless gloves in the subway. So I crouched down to get down to his level. And I said, "Hey, buddy, you know," by the way, I should add, I had a really good outfit on. I was wearing a long coat with a hood popping out the back, which is a cool look.
Yeah.
I had some boots on and nice fitting jeans. So I knew that whatever clip ended up on, you know, the New York Post or whatever, I was glad that I had dressed so well for the occasion.
The hero fantasy coming to life.
Dude, it really was. And we've talked about it so many times. Now, admittedly, in my hero fantasies, I'm not saving a homeless person, right? Do they really need to be saved? So maybe I should have let this one go. But he was making all these, you know, gestures. "Hey, get away from me." And I crouched down to his level and I said, "Hey, buddy." I had seen that the clock for the train said 3 minutes. So we had a little bit of time. And I got down to his level and people were filming us. And I said, "Hey, buddy, you know, are you all right? Let's get you away from the line." And he goes, "I don't have anything. I have nothing left to live for. Nobody cares about me. Nobody will give me money for food. What's the point?" And I said, "Listen, let's go get you some food. I'll come with me and I'll take you." And he goes, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, come on, let's get you away from the line." And he said, "Okay." And he stood up. And we pulled him off the line. By this point, we stepped away from the yellow line and the train came and settled. I could see it coming and it settled in. So he was safe from that.
Nice.
So I felt like
Well
my
done, well
job
done.
was kind of done. And I was disappointed that more people weren't clapping.
That's what I was wondering. Do people clap?
Yeah, no. But
brutal.
then I looked in my wallet and all I had was a $50 bill because I'd been paid for a spot the night before. And I really like $50 bills. That's
too.
probably my favorite denomination. You see more hundreds than you see 50s.
Absolutely.
And it's so rare for me to get one that I wasn't about to give this guy, you know, a $50 bill. And I certainly wasn't going to take him up above subway level to actually get a sandwich because then I would have been late for my omakase at Sugarfish. So I just went, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I actually don't have any money for you." And he got so fucking mad at me, dude. He goes, "You motherfucker, you're just like the rest of them. You lied to me. You lied to my face." And I was like, "Dude, I saved your life." He was like, "No, you didn't. I wasn't actually going to kill myself." And I was like, "Aha, I called your bluff." And then he was like, "Fuck you, you're going to hell." And I was like, I'm actually just getting on the train. And I got on the train and he got on the train with me.
No.
And he continued screaming in my face. And everyone was like, "Why is this terribly dressed fingerless man yelling at this wonderfully dressed beautiful redhead?" He was accusing me of all this shit. And I was like, "How come nobody's helping me now?" And it definitely did not play out like the hero fantasy that I had hoped it would. Fortunately, it was only 2 stops to Soho, so I got off as quickly as I could. But it was a harrowing experience And I don't really know if I get credit for actually saving the guy's life.
As they say, no good deed goes unpunished.
Indeed, it does not.
Jesus.
But it
bro.
also goes to show you should carry around smaller bills. Because I would have happily given this guy $3 or something.
Dude, it's such a true thing, not just in this circumstance, but in any circumstance. If you're with people, if you're like a guest and you randomly there's a coat check and you don't tip the person, like you're a piece of shit. You should always have $5 in singles on you.
Yeah, five, even a 10 I would have given him. I don't know that I would have, to avoid the awkwardness, I probably would have given him a 20. But a 50 was just too much.
Fair enough.
And it also became clear to me through the whole situation that he was putting on a show, that this was a blatant, over-the-top theatrical panhandling maneuver.
Right.
I don't think it was the first time that he'd threatened to kill himself so that people would give him money.
This guy's a pro.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
Well, you live to tell the tale.
Yeah, I did. And I guess he did too. Good for him. Well, listen, everybody. Enjoy your incredible meals. Happy Thanksgiving. Hug your loved ones. Don't tell your sister to shut up at Thanksgiving. And let your Uncle Tony tell his traffic stories and go watch his game in peace as you devour your marshmallow-covered yams on the way to losing your left foot. I'm Francis. He's
Giulio Gallerati. Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be at, we're past our Gotham shows. So I am next in Norwalk, Connecticut at the Basement at Our House on December, I think 7th and 8th. But check my website, francisellis.com/shows for more dates. Giulio, where can we find you?
Dope. I'm going to be in Royal Oak, Michigan tomorrow at the Royal Oak Music Theater with Pete Davidson, and as well as tomorrow, the Vic Theater in Chicago, Illinois, on 11:30. And also December 6th, come out to National Lampoon's LIC comedy show that I'm doing with a couple other great comics. It's Friday, 12/6, 10 p.m. Come check it out. Thank you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy yourselves.